When you feel like your life has no purpose, you can't find your purpose. All you do is work and provide, and no one seems to appreciate or give a fuck about you. How do you find your purpose or even a reason to continue on? This person says, I'm pretty convinced I could disappear today and no one would notice. Not trying to sound like a bitch, but I'm tired of killing myself all day, every day. And for what exactly? The only thing I enjoy doing is lifting, and I'm failing at staying consistent with that. I don't have a purpose anymore, and I don't know if I ever did have one. I'm just over everything. Wow. That's some in-depth shit, man.
Let me start this off by saying that I am not certified or anything to give with this kind of question, I would go ahead and just say, we're not psychologists, we're not therapists. Yeah.
And as much as Andy and even myself has experienced things, we're not in a position to give you concrete like advice on how to handle this, because this seems like a really emotional, psychological.
But what I can do is give you my opinion on it as a friend. And I don't know who this is because these questions are anonymous. We forgot to go over that earlier. But I'm going to start this off by saying that I don't know who you are. I give a fuck about you. Plain and simple. The fact that you sent in this question, you're obviously a part of Norse Fitness. You're one of our customers. I owe you a lot because that means that you've probably bought stuff. You've supported my company, my purpose. So I give a fuck about you, whoever you are. And there are other people that care about you as well. And I know that when you're down in that pit of despair, it seems like there's not. It seems like you're all alone. But you're not. I promise you, there are people out there that care about you. There are people that are dealing with the exact same thing. And I don't say that to make it seem like what you're dealing with isn't important, because it is. I'm telling you that because I want you to realize that you're not alone. You know, like the fact that there are other people struggling with the same thing, that right there means that you're together with someone else, even if you don't know them personally.
Yeah, and I think he or she, I really don't know who this is. I'm just reading over the question again. I can't tell if they're depressed about feeling alone or if they feel like they don't know why they're working for, like they don't know what they're working towards. And I think that
was the next thing I was gonna.
Yeah, we need to define a goal here.
And so that right there, Jacob is 100% right. This is something that I think a lot of people fucking struggle with now, especially nowadays. They work dead-end jobs that serve no purpose. Like, let's be real. And this, I mean, no offense to anyone that works in fast food or whatever, but someone that works at McDonald's, how can they like really take pride,
right?
And doing that, you know?
If there's no upward mobility for them, like, obviously I would take pride in what I'm doing if I knew I could be an owner of McDonald's,
right? Or
like work my way up. But if there's just spinning your wheels and whatever your position you're in is just monotonous, just not, moving the needle, right?
So, and this goes back to, and I talk about this on probably every episode, I feel like, but it all goes back to what our ancestors did, that tribe mentality. Everyone had a purpose. Mm-hmm. Up until recently, everyone had a very important job that if you did not do that job, the whole tribe suffered. But having that one particular task to do gave you a purpose. That is in our DNA to feel important and to have something important that contributes to the rest of society.
Yeah.
And if you're just kind of spinning your wheels and not doing something like that, then there's no doubt that you're going to feel depressed about it. And I don't blame you. I've been there before. Like, right. I worked at Office Depot for a few years, and if I was working at Office Depot, how could I take pride in that? And that ate at me. And that's around the same time I started Norse, actually, because I wanted to do something more. But the unfortunate part is that trying to find that purpose or something that gives you meaning,
it's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a good, summary to this is a really multifaceted question, but first of all, you're not alone. You're not fucking alone. Stop telling yourself that. There are people that care, whether you think it or not. Second of all, define your goal. And then third of all, you say it's saying that you love lifting. but you're failing being consistent at it. So do we actually love lifting, or is there something else like that we think we want to achieve from that? What I'm trying to say is get into the gym and try to make an effort to be more consistent, and a tribe will form around you.
I was going
to say, develop a tribe and have that camaraderie, because that's going to help you define your purpose, and then also help to feel like you're a part of something greater.
Lifting very well might not be your thing.
Yeah.
And I talked about this the other day on a social media post. We see this a lot, especially in the gym. People come into the gym and they hate lifting. They hate lifting weights.
Yeah.
It's just not their thing. But then they try something like Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu or even rock climbing or something like that, and they fall in love with it. They become obsessed with it. And that right there, that gives you something to focus on, to work towards. So maybe reevaluate that. I think everyone should lift weights, but maybe that's not what you should be focusing on. Maybe lift weights a couple times a week, get it in just because you need to, but find a hobby like Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai or any other activity that you might be more passionate about that might do that for you. And then whenever you find that one thing that really just creates that burning desire to improve in, you're going to be around other people, because that's how this shit works. You really can't go to a gym alone. There's other people there.
Exactly, all the time.
But those people there, you have something in common with them, and you really have to step out of your comfort zone and just make more of an effort to hang out with these people, ask them questions. And I am not a social person. I've had to develop that skill over time. I'm definitely not an extrovert like my buddy Jakob here. At times I wish that I was.
You're a sharpened blade now.
I'm working on it.
You honed that skill.
I really am working on it. So, and I understand that just going up to random people and just like, hey, how are you? Like,
believe it or not, I struggled with that.
Really?
Hard.
Okay,
and
so
it was more of approaching that.
And yeah, I mean, because you start coming up with this, your ego starts talking to you and starts saying shit like, they're going to think I'm fucking retarded, or, they're going to judge me. They're not going to judge you, because honestly, they're focused on themselves.
Exactly. We're all selfish as fuck.
We are selfish as shit. And, and honestly, that's okay. I think people, I think that's, to a certain extent, I think that's okay.
Exactly.
But, maybe explore different hobbies and activities that you're more passionate about.
Yeah.
That align more with what you're trying to align with your goals, like Jakob was talking about. And when you find that group of people, they're going to have a burning passion for that as well, and to do that. And as far as finding like your purpose in your job and stuff and just spinning your wheels,
I think we've already just wrapped it up there with that. And also, one thing I want to say, if you're watching this, it's okay to get help. And I was talking to another guy last night about this. It is okay to go and talk to somebody like a professional therapist who can talk you through whatever you're going through. I know what it feels like to be a fucking dude, a masculine dude. And we're told, don't be emotional, etc. But if you feel like you struggle with what we're reading here, this is more deep than just something that two guys on a podcast can answer. So I think I just want to say it's okay to get help.
So I actually planned on making a whole podcast episode based around counseling. But just to kind of give you my 2 cents on that, I got a counselor for the first time last May. I was struggling really bad. I didn't know what to do. I could no longer help myself. And so I got a counselor, and it was the best thing I could have done. But here's my approach on that for anyone, and I've told other people this, because there's a few people at our gym now. I openly was like, yeah, I got a counselor. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have her anymore, but it's because I worked through my stuff.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to work through my stuff. And that's what I'm getting at. And I told these people the same thing. If anything will allow you to improve, then you need to be fucking doing it, regardless of what the societies might say about it. Like, oh, you're not a man for doing that. Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah. Like, if it allows you to improve and it allows you to become a better person, it allows you to get out of this rut that you're in, anything possible. And, last year when I was dealing with my shit, and even up until earlier this year, I did every single thing possible to get out of that rut, because I was so desperate to do so. And I don't give a shit what anyone said about it. I was going to do it because I was so determined to get out of it.
Right.
So yeah, if you feel like a counselor would do you a benefit,
or somebody close to you,
or just someone close to you. But I don't think this person really has anyone.
I was going to say, that we tell ourselves we can work through shit in our own head.
You sometimes, can't really,
but guess what? Who's creating these problems in the first place? Oh wait, your own head.
Yeah,
and so you can't try to fix something.
And that sounds a little harsh, but he's 100% right. Yeah. You are creating these problems. The The world is a absolutely beautiful place, and so is life. But it doesn't take much to kind of switch that around and think that it is a dark, lonely, miserable place.